Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. My very special guests today are Bridles. They just dropped the brand new first album, and you can get it. It's called Visions of Future. I'm just so happy for them. I paused there because I was thinking, well, it must feel so good right now to have a new album out. And how is it being received, guys? Are people enjoying it as much as I do?
Yeah, we've gotten really great feedback from everyone that's listened to it. So it feels really nice.
Yeah, I want to hear it more and more. It's one of those albums I would put on, at the end of a day or in the morning or when hanging out with friends. It just, you can, in the car, I think you'd probably get a really great experience with the album. It feels like it opens up. I've heard it a few times. It opens up more and more, as good albums tend to do. We're listening to Lonely and Scared. We just came back with, uh, the Bridles are, in case you're wondering, Kara, Lina, Muller. Music and production, Andrew Bolt. Kara does vocals, drum machine programming, vocal effects. Andrew's got plays electric guitar. What is a scorp pyramid?
Oh, that's a that's the company that makes our sequencer. So
Oh, okay. I was like, I
yeah,
haven't heard that one.
basically plays all of our sheet music into our synthesizers, or
Uh,
some of our synthesizers. Lets us program nice and long bass lines with little details.
so not only is it a great album, but you guys taught me something new today. I love when I learn something new. You do drum machine, Andrew, programming, nylon string and bass guitar, the glockenspiel, romplers and synthesizers, engineering, mixing, and mastering. And your company is Secret Seal Productions. Are you for hire? If anybody, musicians listening out there, need,
I Yeah, I would love to help anybody with anything they would desire.
okay, so they can reach you, DM you on one of your socials.
Absolutely, yeah.
This beautiful album art that if you're watching the YouTube video, the YouTube interview, album art, Andrew Bolton, Kara, Lina Muller. Very good, very cool. It almost looks like it's got a 3D glow to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, we got some fancy tricks that Andrew came up with to get it to look so great.
Yeah, it looks like one of those toys you get out of like I don't know, it's like shimmery and 3D. Very cool. Well, again, congratulations on the new album. And I teased everybody before the break. Tell us a story about how you two met.
Do you want me to share it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like January of 2022, and I finally told myself I was gonna make an album, and I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I set that goal and intention. And in the spring, I was brave enough and put an ad on Craigslist looking for a musician, producer, collaborator. And Andrew responded fairly quickly, and sent me all of his music links and like a beautifully worded email that just made me realize like how passionate he was with his music. And it was like I knew in that moment, like, yeah, this is totally the person who like I'm supposed to work with. And then the link broke on Craigslist through
Oh
the
no.
email. And it was like a month before we actually got in touch again. But it was kind of good because Andrew had gotten COVID during that time. So it's like
Uh,
the timing just worked out. And it was one of
it
those
was meant to be.
too, where it was just like me being patient and just like letting the universe like do its thing, because it was like, why isn't this working? But yeah, it all worked out in time. And yeah, we kind of just were emailing back and forth, sending some stuff. And then we finally got together in person. And it was like the first day we got together. I think it was like 10 hours of just like jamming together. And all of our like music days after that was very long days, but they were just so fun. And we just, yeah, had a really great time together being in that musical world.
It was the right. You could feel that it was the right connection, the right
Oh
choice, right
yeah.
up meant
I
to be.
mean, yeah.
Andrew, so what about Kara's post on Craigslist? Like
Uh,
drew you in and had you respond with such a beautiful email.
Well, I've spent a few years just stalking the boards on Craigslist, looking for a band to play with. But people aren't usually looking for a producer, and especially I know that the producer can be a very vague term and mean at least four different things. But I kind of got the sense, I was like, this is the kind of things like building out a sonic world for somebody else's art, and it seemed like a good opportunity. I just kind of got a good feeling about it, and I went for it. And Kara said she really wanted to spread a positive message, and
In that post,
in the
that
in
Craigslist,
yeah in
or
the post, yeah. And then Andrew, I remember like the last bit of his email, it was like, I see that you were, something of like, can you elaborate on spreading like the positive message? And I think that was like
how did you respond to that? What was your answer?
I can't even remember now, but I think it was just more of like wanting to really connect with the listener and with people and allow them to have a space where they can relate to my struggles, and like realizing that the things that they struggle with, they're not alone in that. But also having this inspiring piece of art and music, and even just like what we're doing, it's like I've wanted to make music in an album, and I finally took those steps to make it happen. And I'm so fortunate to have Andrew here to help me. And he's been so much more than just like a producer and a bandmate, but he's been my teacher and like guide of wisdom through this whole process. But
So
yeah,
you manifested pretty much the whole thing, even Andrew.
I did. And
Andrew, are you real?
it's really crazy. I actually had dreams about him. Like I had several dreams of him before we even met.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
So,
very in the ethers.
Kara, what were some of the fears that were going through your mind before you said, I'm going to make an album? I'm going to do it now. I'm going to finally do it. But that decision didn't come easy. It took years, and you had a lot of probably fear in between before that. How did you finally conquer that fear
I think it was
and just say, I'm
really,
doing it?
it was moving up to Seattle, like right around like I guess like middle part of like lockdown and COVID was when I really started to transition my thinking and saying, it was like, I want to do this and I want to figure out how to make this happen. And I had known a couple people who, were involved in music, and reached out to them, and like things just didn't really, like, it kind of fizzled rather quickly. And then moving up to Seattle was like a huge jump for me. I grew up in a really small town in California, and coming to Seattle and being in the city just offered this like exciting energy of there is so much opportunity here. But still, like, I felt very kind of scared and stuff. And yeah, I think moving and like cutting a lot of bad, toxic things, people out of my life really cleared that space and allowed me to have better clarity of how I wanted to move forward in my life.
What experiences in your life have most impacted your music or your lyrics? And that question for both of you, if you both have examples, but not only first, were there particular experiences that really, although hard, gave you the inspiration for the lyrics or the music or or what Bridles was going to be? Because you've definitely got a sound, I think, of your own. You've got a feel, you got a mood, like I said in the beginning, but that came from experiences in your life, good or bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want me to continue? Yeah, it's funny, like how we were talking about maybe before the commercial break, and how it has just these very like intense feelings, but then this like joy and positivity and empowerment in the end. Maybe it was actually the first song that I wrote after moving to Seattle. And it came from losing a grant that I applied for and feeling so devastated that I didn't win, and kind of thinking of all these other things that had happened in my life, like endings of relationships and friendships, and feeling like you want this control over your life or how things go, but really like you have to completely let go and you have to just flow with the universe and how these things are going to come to fruition. And kind of like in the second verse of maybe it's like, maybe it can be my wildest dream. I feel like I am living my wildest dream right now. And it really was completely
That's
letting
cool.
go of all of these things and opening up for like what could be. And I never thought in a million years that I would actually be doing this. And I'm just so grateful for my insecurities to move out of the way so that I could bring in all of this positive stuff, including Andrew.
And experience. Isn't it weird how that works? The hard stuff turns out to be what gives you the wings to the next level there. Andrew, so you refer to each other as member one and member two. Can you explain why you refer to each other this way?
I think
Uh, and
in
I
some ways,
can read that quote if you want me to, but or if you know it.
yeah, in some ways it's like a placeholder for whatever sort of characters we end up occupying. Um, I really wanted, I appreciate music made by bands a lot, and sometimes I feel like oftentimes the focus is on personalities rather than kind of the combination of things. And we kind of had a crossroads at the beginning where it was, I asked Karis, like, do you want me to like make these tracks for you and just hand these over? Do you want to be a band and really try to, work on things together and like share these experiences and, do what I love about so many amazing bands throughout history, and try to make something that's more than the sum of its parts. Like I can,
Yeah.
do the best I can, and Kara can do the best she can, but we have like a certain kind of chemistry, and just wanted
So
to
it's
build.
almost taking the ego out of it a little bit, maybe by referring to you as each other as it's almost like you're mutually necessary for each other for the band to live.
And then when we perform live, we have drum machines and whatnot, that just this huge system of gear. We don't use laptops on stage, but we have a bunch of synthesizers and stuff, which collectively makes this big machine that we call Member 3. And
Awesome. Well, are you going to play, or do you both live in Seattle?
We do, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were in LA for some reason,
Yeah, we're in Seattle.
and that you were touring up in Seattle. Well, if do you ever get to LA or somewhere in California, I would love to come see you and see
Yeah, I
member
mean,
one, two, and three.
my family lives in California, so we're hoping at some point we can come down and play a show, because that would be a dream. It'd be really
Yeah.
fun.
Well, we should talk about that offline. I'll see if I can help you
Cool.
get in somewhere, some good spots. Um, okay. Question. I'm going to ask it now, and we'll talk about it on the other side of the break. Um, think about it. Is there a higher calling for the band? And think about that. I want to tease our listeners. They can find out the answer on the other side. We're going to go to break right now with the Bridles music, and we're going to listen to Come Near is what we're listening to on the way out. Anything that either of you would like to say about Come Near?
I don't know, it's a technical music thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we wrote the bass lines and the drums and then the guitar, and then after that we kind of had everything filled out and used voice leading for the string sections. And I don't know, that it's one of the things I'm more proud of on the album is these various string sections that in combination with everything make nice little chord voicings.
That sounds good.
Great. Okay. Think about that while you're listening. You just got it. Andrew gave you a little sneak, something to listen to. Okay. So Bandcamp. This is what they say. Bridles is the alchemical pairing of electrifying grooves and high octane sincerity. Member one vocally identifies ethereal entities for which member two may transmute into corporeal form. Bridles will take you on a journey through a musical substrate of synthetic bass, guitar, and machine drums. Bridles just released their first album, Visions of Future. It is available on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you stream your music these days. Bridal's next show will be at Seattle's legendary Central Saloon on August 8th. Put that down, August 8th, Seattle Central Saloon. Go check them out live. You can see and meet the three entities. Member one, member two, and member three will be there, and you should be there too. We'll be right back. And again, here is Come Near, Enjoy.